Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our channel.
All right. I'm
Are you giving in now?
giving in.
I'm
just not going to comment anymore.
You're not? I just do this?
Better be careful with your shoulders.
What are you going to do? You'll just reach over and give me a kiss. You know that.
That's right. All right. This week's video, actually, it's a tutorial.
Yes.
And it is how to make a easy little slip that you do not need a pattern for.
Yeah, you don't need a pattern.
No pattern. You need a
sewing machine, a measuring tape,
yep,
and a sew-on snap.
Well, and if you like little frillies, you know, that would be good
yeah,
too.
well, we'll show trims if that's what you like. There's a lot of choices. We work with a lot of dolls from the 50s, and their dresses were full, and they don't stay full.
This gives them that oomph.
This gives them the oomph to keep them full.
Yeah. So let's go watch it.
Okay.
Here we go.
Well, this is a slip that we thought we would show you in a video how to create. It works real well and fast to give some fullness to those 50 style dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those dresses have their own sewn in slips, or sewn on
this
panties.
One gives them a little bit more oomph.
It allows those dresses to stick out like they did in the 50s. And
okay, so let's see what kind of materials, because this was just sort of a brainstorm for you, wasn't it?
Well, I stumbled on it. Let's put it. I stumble on everything.
Okay.
This is the trim on the bolt, and you can see the difference because this is one way of finishing. Here's a snap, and we sewed up the back. This is one way of finishing a slip.
Right, but let's see this first. So this is the way the trim came, and we got this trim from Hobby Lobby, but shortly after we purchased it for the first time, it was then put in the clearance aisle. And yeah, well, they had it for a while longer, and we were able to get quite a bit of it, but I don't believe that it is sold anymore.
No.
So we're going to show you this technique, but in order to use it, you'll have to find a kind of a trim that is similar to this, but I don't think you're going to find this exact one. This one is from Dantex International, and it says it is 93% polyester and 7% spandex.
Which means?
Right. You can do things with the edge.
It allowed me to...
but it's really fun because it creates this very quick slip.
That holds those dresses out the way they're supposed to be.
Right. You don't need 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 petticoats.
Underneath.
Nope. You just need this. Okay, honey. So let's show everyone how to measure a dowel.
So this is where you measure the dowel. There's your little belly button. You want to measure, excuse me, ma'am. Make sure when you're doing that, which I've done this before, is got it caught on the dowel stand. Oh, that's a big belly you have there. Of course not. It's the dowel stand. So you see, I'm going to measure her here. She measures at, get out of the way, 6 1/2. I would probably cut it at 6 3/4.
So you're going to add 1/4 inch?
Pretty, just so that I can overlap with the
snap.
So what I do is I just go, and I said 6 1/2, so 6 3/4. That ends up right here. So instead of cutting in the middle of one of the pleats, I just go a little bit. And so it's slightly bigger, but it's not going to make any difference, and you'll see why. So there's my slip. For a P90. This is for a 14-inch ideal Tony dowel. Might be a little narrower if you use for sweets.
Yeah, well, if you're going to, you just have to measure.
You have to measure.
For the dowel that you're...
And the dress that they're wearing, because some of the dresses for the Tony dowels and other dowels are shorter, and that would mean a hem.
Okay, we'll get there. Okay, so let's go see some of these slips that you've already done and give everybody an idea of how to do them.
This is a pre-Tony. She has mohair that makes her pre-Tony. And she has the 50s or 40s dress style with attached slip. But it doesn't stay sticking out much. So we took that trim and I did a scarf stitch along here to make all those pleats stand out
a little bit.
There you go.
Let's see the next one.
The next one is a AD creation. The dress on a Harriet Hubbard.
Yep.
And we put, to keep this dress sticking out, we put some trim along the bottom after I did the scarf stitch to make it, take the pleats and spread them out. And she's got her little ribbon. Now this one is Honey, which people have seen online, but her dress is so short that I just did the scarf stitch, stretched the, and then I gave it a hem to make it shorter.
Okay.
So
who else have we got?
Now we'll move the big girls. So the big girls would need much longer slips.
So this is a taller doll.
Yeah,
she's a 16-inch. She's a P91.
She's P91. Okay, so you can see that she's pleated up there, but I have added a trim to give her the fullness that I want her dress to have.
Yep.
And on this one is a P93. This is the one.
She is a 21-inch tall doll.
And this is one had the crack up her neck, completely up to the top of her head. And she is beautiful. And so what I did was, she has two slips. She had a longer slip where I put
well, the top part is the material you're going to be showing.
This is the material I'm showing. This is the added for the length of her dress. And then I put another shorter one on to give her a double layer, which holds her dress out because it isn't made of a fabric that wants to stay out on its own.
Okay, so let's see how you sewed them.
So I'm going to show you the basic beginning of the slip, and I use the scarf stitch. Now that's what I was told when I bought the machine. Whether that's true or not, ask a real seamstress, because I'm not one. What it means is the needle hits the fabric but does not hit the fabric on the outside. It only hits in the zigzag. So we put it in zigzag mode and we bring up it so that the stitches are very close together. I do about a 1. Okay.
Well, everybody's machines are different.
Yeah. So, and mine's manual, and I love it manual. It's not electronic and all that. So anyway, the needle's going to hit the fabric, but not hit the outside of the fabric. Okay.
Let's see it.
So. Now, do you see the stitch?
So do you do that on the edge of all of them?
All sides, you mean? Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. I have done both sides of this slip. Now I'm completing the top. Remember, this is a zigzag, and one part of the zig is on the fabric, and the zag is off of the fabric, which makes a scarf stitch. At least it might have another name. You don't have to ask the seamstress. Now we're going to show you what I do with the bottom. Now that I'm at the bottom, I'm stretching the fabric. It's already sealed, but that's not going to help me because I want it stretched and I want it to have something to keep it from recoiling back to its original part. So I'm going to do the same stitch as I stretch the fabric. That's the results of what I just did with the scarf stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I will do, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. If I put a trim on it, there are different kinds of trims, which will make it even stand out more. Or you can lengthen it. There's many different things you do. I'll just pull this because it's a convenience. Oh, that had a pin in it. That worked, I guess not. Okay, let's just say you're going to put some sort of trim on it. Then you would do the same thing and not do the scarf stitch. You would just do a straight stitch.
Okay, let's see a different fabric, a different trim that you could put on this.
And now, this is the length for a 14-inch doll, maybe 15. It depends on the dress.
So let's see what you do to make it for a
You
long
can get
one.
a trim like this with a shorter ruffle, and you can do this.
And that will lengthen it and give it a little bit of flair.
Stitch, and it would still give it more flair, and it would lengthen a little bit. Or you can go the full route and use the longer one, do the same thing, and do a straight stitch, which I showed you on the P93. Or if it's a smaller dress, shorter dress, you just hem it. So you can see how even though I stretched it, it's returning back to its pleated state, and I want it to be really full. So putting a trim on it works real well. It depends on what you have for a fabric on your dress.
And what you use for a trim.
And what you use for trim. So I'm going to put this trim on here before I put a little seam up here. And I'm using a straight stitch because I want to include the trim in my seam. So I get it off of zigzag, put it down. I'm going to put it down in 5 because it's brocade. And back up a little bit, seal your stitch. Okay. And do you see it's still got some stretchiness to it? I don't want that there. I want a full slip.
So you have a little bit of tension on it.
See, I am pulling as, now grab it there and get my straight stitch on because I want a full, really full slip. So. Now you can see the difference that the trim made. It keeps it from going back into its pleats, and it gives a much fuller slip. So now
you've got right sides together.
Right, always. And I'll probably start about here.
So what are you doing? Explain what you're doing.
What I'm going to do is close the slip from here to here. And then it'll get a snap. So right sides together. There is a front and back to this trim, believe it or not. And this is the front and this is the back. So you put the right sides together. And this is just to keep the slip in where I want it.
So you put in a very short seam.
I did. I trim off anything that I don't want.
Okay, and so the last thing to do for it, to make it at least work, is to sew on a snap, right?
Yes, I'll fix this up later. You can take a little tack and you can tack it down. The seam, nobody does it, but I kind of do it sometimes. Yes, and your fabric will tell you which way to put your snap. See? One side there, and there. And you have a finished full, except for its bow.
So why don't you go finish it and we'll see it when it's done.
So I'm going to use sew-on snaps.
For the closure?
Yeah, for the closure. Just for everyone's information, I do not like to sew. But I spend most of my life sewing. I am not a seamstress. and I struggle at it all. Seems
But
to come out okay. But
it does, but this is a really interesting tutorial because this is a slip that doesn't have a pattern.
And I will cut corners, not quality corners. I never cut quality, but I will do, if it can get done quickly without stressing me to the nth degree, I will do it. And I imagine there are a lot of people out there that don't like to sew either, or don't know how to sew. And so I was hoping maybe this would help. So
okay,
now,
so that is the one side of the snap. You're going to put the other side of the snap.
well, I'm trying to find the hole.
Okay, but you're going to do the other side of the snap.
There's the hole. So this side of the snap is on the inside and not the outside, so it can snap together. And I'm going to finish sewing this on. And then the only thing left is to put the blue ribbon on. And we chose blue because it's going to go under a original Tony yellow dress with blue embroidery.
Mm-hmm. Blue embroidered lace.
Yes. So we're going to have a white slip with brocade under the Tony dress with a little blue ribbon to match the dress. This is a little ribbon you can get in packages at John Fabrics in different colors. So I came up from here, knots underneath, through the purl twice. Now I want the ribbon to lay down and not pop out, stick up. So I'm going under this is just my own preference. Anybody can sew on anything the way they want. I like things. I'm a picture straightener, sorry guys. But it's the truth. And I am going to do it one more time. If I can get it to go through all that fabric. And it doesn't want to. But I'll get it through. There it goes. I'm a picture straightener. I like my ribbons to lay flat. I want it to be on that side of the ribbon. Of the, what do you call it?
The purl.
The purl. And I'm going to go under the purl to the other side. Bring it through. And I'm going to make my knot. And I'm going to show you a little trick. If this will be nice to me, not twist on me. Because it always wants to twist. So I just made my knot. But these knots can come undone. So what I do is I take my needle and I slide it under. So probably I can even get it way down there. And all that. And I bring the tail of the knot away from the thing so it doesn't come undone. So there is a slip finish.
From start to finish.
And there's her snap.
I think we should have somebody model it. What do you think?
Well, yeah, that's okay. I wish I could have the black-haired beauty that needs restringing and is waiting for my attention to model it.
We haven't gotten there yet, honey. So let's just see this one model.
So this is our little model. We're going to model the slip. These are another pair of panties I made. Shantae seems to like them because she can run different colors to match the slip or
the outfit.
I
think they're adorable.
So we are going to show you how I gotta cut these. They're a little long.
It's okay. Let's see her.
There she is.
Bring her down a little, hun.
Oops.
There we go.
There she is in her no slip. And you see how it makes it stand, those pleats separate.
So from this here to this. Pretty quick. I think she looks great. Well, it looks like they all just stepped right out of the 50s.
Sure does.
Who knew? All it took was a little bit of a trim, some sewing, some stretching, a couple of snaps, and
they're snap.
Yeah. and their dresses stand out.
Oh, yeah. Did I? Yeah, I did do it on her. I did.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, I wanted to mention, this is one that has attached panties. You can do the slip. See, it's attached. And I shortened the slip. And she has a slip with attached panties, which usually doesn't happen.
okay.
But I wanted the slip, so I figured it out.
I hope everybody enjoyed this little tutorial and that you got some good tips on maybe creating a slip similar to this. If you can find fabric that, a trim that would work the same way.
A stiffer fabric that will do something.
Yet again, I'm not sure which of our videos we're going to show next week. We've got a few that we are working on, but we'll see. Whoever gets done first is the one that'll get showed.
Everybody wants to be next. They just keep waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah, well, we want to thank everybody.
I just have to mention this one right here that we worked on today that has the slip on. She was the bride doll. She had her hair in curlers till today.
She did.
For months.
She did.
Waiting for her opportunity.
So we want to thank everybody who has been watching our videos. Thank you so much. And everybody who is new, thank you for coming and watching this video. If you would like to subscribe and see more videos like this, please subscribe. And we always love to have a like. And what do you think, honey?
I think it went well. I hope it helps
not what
someone.
I meant.
What do you think about what? Oh, the thing I'm supposed to say at the end?
That's the thing.
Oh, okay. Let me think. Just remember, it is possible to do it yourself.
Very good.
If I can do it, anybody can.
Well, we'll see. Bye, everybody.